So you've just started Oblivion, you've made your character and you've made your way through the tutorial, you're at the gates and you're happy to finish and exit the sewers. You're standing outside and what do you do now? Do you do what this first pop-up says and head to Waynon Priory to hand in the Amulet of Kings to Joffrey? Or do you cross this creek and go explore the area and explore the world? You can do either of these, however I recommend not completing the main story straight away. But in my typical fashion of getting straight to it, let's get to the nuts and guts of this video and then we'll dive a bit deeper into it. Now the first thing you want to do whenever you start an Oblivion playthrough, in my personal opinion, is open the map and head straight to the Imperial City Arena. You head through the left door and head down into the arena, and what you want to do is come straight down here and talk to Owen. Why start the game going straight into the arena? Well, it's simple. The arena is an effective and efficient way to level up the skills that matter most in this game, as you won't be leveling up anything that doesn't matter, just combat skills, as you'll be going in there and using whatever skills that you want to use throughout the game. It's a great way to test and adjust your build and find the things that you enjoy or the way you want to play the game. And especially coming here straight out of the sewers, you can make the quick save at the sewers before you leave. Come to the arena, test out the build and see if you like it, and if you don't, you can load the save, rinse and repeat until you find a build and playstyle that you enjoy without spending hours and hours playing the game before you actually figure out, I don't actually like this playstyle. It's a great way to make money, especially selling all the stuff you get straight away. You can make a decent bit of coin for the start of the game, and as you progress through the ranks you get progressively more and more cash, which is a decent amount of money for the very start of the game, and without performing glitches or anything you won't make better money generally. So heading to the arena right at the start of the game once leaving the sewers will give you a massive early game advantage, as well as it being super fun and enjoyable to do. Alright, that's the nuts and guts of it. If that's all you came here for, please feel free to shut the video down. But before you go, if you enjoyed the video or it helped you out, please hit that like button or subscribe. It really helps me out. Alright, now we'll get into a bit more detail about the arena, its benefits and how it works exactly. This guy seems a bit rough, but he'll come round. So obviously you want to say, I want to become a combatant.
You what? You want to be a combatant? Look at you. My granny could beat you and she's dead. Wait, you're serious, aren't you?
Once you get through all the dialogue, you can pick either the light or the heavy raiment, whichever one you prefer or whichever one you're going with.
Here.
Once you have the raiment, make sure you put on your raiment, so you have to come down to your thing, chuck that on, as this is one thing that you definitely need in order to start a match. Talk to Owen, come down, press ready for a match. Now all you need to do is head up this way and start your arena battles. Now the reason that you want to come straight to the arena is you can make easy gold and you will get easy half decent weapons to start your journey. So you can get iron claymores here, you can get more claymores here, so you can sell the extras if you don't want to use them, and you can get some more iron warhammers here. You can also go back to the market district and sell these. There are beds to level up in here. There is always a book called the Ransom of Xeric in this cupboard right here, so you can take that. You can always get extra heavy raiments and light raiments in the cupboard right next to Owen, or on the far side next to Yazabel. So there is always extra raiment, so you don't have to worry about repairing these. So there are limitations and rules to the arena, and you can even be expelled from the arena. So we'll go over all the rules and limitations with this. So the first thing is you must wear the heavy or light raiment, unless of course you are the grand champion, then you can wear whatever you want. If at any point you start a match and you change or take off your heavy raiment or your light raiment, this will count as an automatic forfeit and the match will end and you'll have to leave and go talk to Owen, which he will not be happy about. But if you perform this twice at any time throughout the entire career in the arena, your career in the arena will end and you will not be able to continue on with the arena at any point after this. You cannot make up for it. So make sure you don't change your armor once you're in a match or you've started a match. You need to keep the heavy and light raiment on at all times. There are of course the two cabinets that you can replace your armor, so you don't have to worry about repairing it. However, this is a good way to increase your armorer's skill if you have the hammers to do so. Another big rule when it comes to the arena is you cannot scavenge any of your foes' equipment or gear or loot their body. However, there is one exception to this, being arrows. If the arrows are missed, so say they shoot an arrow at you and they miss, you can pick up these arrows, however, but anything else it will not allow you to loot, except of course for the final fight, the grand champion fight, where you can loot all of his gear and take his raiment. You'll take it downstairs and you'll swap this raiment for one of your own. You can only fight in the arena between 9 AM and 9 PM and bet on fights between 9 AM and 9 PM. However, this time frame only counts for when you start a fight. So once you've got the fight and you've talked to Owen and you've received that fight, you can wait until nighttime and fight at nighttime if, say, you're a vampire already for some reason, but you can only start the fights in between the hours of 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. However, the caveat with that is also when you're the grand champion, you can fight at any time and start fights at any time throughout the day or night, as the grand champion does whatever the hell he wants. Apart from that, in the arena, anything goes. You can use any weapons, any spells. You can use potions, scrolls, and you can even use sneak attack if you can get yourself invisible, for instance, and then sneak up on the enemy and perform sneak attacks. Pretty much anything else goes, and you can do this however you want. And there are even little glitchy spots where you can jump up into areas where you can't actually be hit by melee attacks, and you can increase your mage or your archery, but don't do that. Now, that's all the rules and limitations with the arena. Now, let's talk about all the benefits to it. So obviously, with each match win and participated in, you receive gold, which is a massive benefit, especially at the start of the game, and one of the best ways to make money in this game, period. So as you progress through the ranks, you'll get more and more money, starting from 50 at the very start of the game and ranging all the way up to 500, with the final grand champion fight giving you 1,000 gold, which is a massive start, and you can pretty much buy a lot of the things that you're after at the start of the game, which will help you massively, especially if you're a mage buying spells or if you want better armor, better gear. Another thing to know is once you finish your fight and you're heading through the bloodworks, if you press on the basin of renewal, this will restore you. So say if you've taken the birth sign, the Atronorg, and you don't restore magicka, you can come to the basin. This will restore all your health, your magicka, and fully recover you, so you don't have to worry about using your potions or anything at the end of a match to get your health or your magicka back. Another great thing in the arena is if you actually go talk to the Grey Prince being here and you carry out his quest that he gives you. Obviously, you want to do this before you defeat him in the arena. He will give you a 3-point boost to all your melee skills, so this is a very efficient and good way to level up early on and get bonuses to all these skills if you are a melee character, or if you just want to get a little boost towards your level up. This will also make the final fight very easy, so if you don't want to make the final fight against a great champion easy, maybe don't do this, but the skill boost he gives you is very important and the quest isn't too hard. I won't go into further detail on this as you probably want to enjoy it. Obviously, when you're going through the arena and you're progressing through this, you will be leveling up all the combat skills that you want to level up, and it is an incredible way to level up all these skills, and efficient, as you won't be leveling up anything that doesn't really matter. Whereas if you're out in the world and you're leveling up your athletics or your acrobats and all these other skills that don't matter too much in combat, you can get behind and you'll be versing harder characters and creatures in the game when you haven't leveled up your combat, and it can get a lot harder as you progress without leveling up your combat skills. Another incredible benefit to completing the arena is once you complete all the fights through the arena and become the grand champion, you get your own little sidekick right here who can pretty much follow you around and shine a torch, so you don't have to worry about having a torch in dark areas or in caves, as he can light the way, or you can get him to protect your house like I do in the waterfront to make sure no one's breaking into your house. Or you can do what most people do and get him to fall off a cliff or kill him or leave him in an Oblivion gate. However, one thing to know is he will respawn if he dies after 3 days, and he will stay at the arena waiting for you to come back. So the little guy can't actually be killed, so have fun. Once you are the great champion, you then can start fighting against creatures, so you can loot these creatures. This will help you in making potions as well as giving you a gold reward, so you can complete this to get extra gold or alchemy and just work on your combat skills and level all your stuff up if you do want to keep going through the arena. When it comes to the actual matches and advancing through the arena, there are 9 ranks in the arena, being Pit Dog, Brawler, Bloodletter, Myrmidon, Warrior, Gladiator, Hero, Champion, and the Grand Champion. Throughout all of these ranks, you will need to verse 3 opponents in order to rank up to the next rank. However, some of these fights you will be versing multiple characters, 2 or even 3 sometimes, which can be a skill check, and I found when I was fighting the 3 prisoners, it was a skill check and I had to go and get better gear and better armor in order to fight these guys. However, you don't want to leave this one too late and level up too much, because if you level up, they will also get stronger, meaning that their unarmed skill will then be able to disarm you, making this an even greater and harder fight. So you want to do this early on and get past these 3 prisoners early on, as when they're using hand-to-hand combat, if you're not leveling your hand-to-hand, it makes it incredibly incredibly hard because they will knock your weapon down and you will not be able to pick it up as you cannot loot things from the ground being weapons. So that being said, there is a total of 22 fights including the Arena Grand Champion. Once you do become the champion, you will then only have the one fight being the Grey Prince, and the rewards will be 50, 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, 350, and then 500 once you become the champion, and then the 1,000 gold reward when you become the Grand Champion. One big thing to note that you want to do before you actually enter the arena every time is make sure you do a save or a quick save before you actually enter the arena. If you get to a point where you can't carry on or you can't beat the combatants that you're versing, you want to load that save, and then you can go and get better gear, better spells, better armor, whatever you need in order to be able to beat these combatants. Make sure you do go through your spells list and see if there's anything you can use in here to help you get through this fight, especially if you say an orb or a red guard. You can use your adrenaline rush, and this is a massive boost in combat and will get you through the fight generally, regardless of what level you are. However, it does depend on the difficulty that you have the game set on. All right, cheers for watching. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a comment and let me know what your favorite way to start off your game in Oblivion is. And if you want to see some more guys, make sure you check out this one. Peace.